The phone call that nearly destroyed a future queen's dreams lasted exactly 47 seconds. It's 2007. Kate Middleton is folding laundry in her tiny London flat when her phone buzzes. The caller ID makes her heart skip. William flashes across the screen. She's been waiting for this call all week. "Hi, darling. Kate, we need to talk." Those 4 words. Every woman knows them. The tone that cuts through your chest like winter wind. Kate's hands start trembling before she even knows why. "What's wrong?" she whispers, setting down the shirt she'd been folding. One of his shirts, actually. The blue one he left after their weekend at Balmoral. I think we need some space." Space. The word hangs in the air like smoke from a fire you can't put out. Kate slides down the wall until she's sitting on her kitchen floor, staring at the pattern in the linoleum she's never noticed before. "Space?" she repeats, her voice smaller than she's ever heard it. "I'm under so much pressure, Kate. The media, my family, the expectations. I can't think straight. I need time to figure out who I am without all this. Without her. He means without her, but he's too much of a gentleman, or too much of a coward to say it." "How much time?" Kate asks, though she already knows the answer will crush her. "I don't know. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm so sorry." The line goes dead. Kate stares at her phone, for what feels like hours, but is probably only minutes. The screen goes black, and she sees her reflection, pale, shocked, broken. 47 seconds. That's all it took to demolish 4 years of her life. 4 years of believing she was going to be somebody important, somebody who mattered. The next morning, her phone buzzes with a text from William. "I need time." 3 words this time, even more devastating than 4. Kate vanishes from London like morning mist. No paparazzi shots, no sources close to the couple, no carefully orchestrated appearances at charity events. She becomes a ghost. Her friends rally around her like warriors protecting their wounded queen. Pippa moves in temporarily, bringing ice cream and tissues and the kind of fierce loyalty that only sisters possess. "He's an idiot," Pippa declares, finding Kate still in her pajamas at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. "A complete and utter fool." "He's going to be king," Kate whispers into her tea mug. "What am I going to be?" "You're going to be fine," Pippa says, but even she doesn't sound convinced. Kate's mother, Carol, arrives with homemade soup and the kind of practical wisdom that built empires. "Sweetheart," she says, sitting on the edge of Kate's bed, "you have 2 choices. You can let this break you, or you can let it make you stronger. I feel like I'm drowning, Mum." "Then learn to swim." For 3 weeks, Kate lives in a bubble of misery. She doesn't read the newspapers, though she knows what they're saying. She doesn't watch the news, though she can imagine the speculation. She doesn't even look at herself in the mirror for more than necessary. But slowly, something starts to change. Maybe it's the way the morning light hits her window differently. Or maybe it's the realization that she's been holding her breath for 4 years, waiting for permission to be herself. She starts taking long walks through Hyde Park, remembering what it feels like to be Kate from Berkshire, not William's girlfriend. She reads books she'd put aside for royal biographies. She calls friends she'd neglected for palace protocols. And then, one morning, she wakes up angry. Not sad, not heartbroken, angry. "You know what?" she tells Pippa over breakfast. "I'm not going to disappear. I'm not going to hide. I'm going to remind everyone, including him, exactly what he gave up." The plan is simple. Live her best life. Loudly. Kate starts with the hair. She goes to the salon and asks for something dramatic. Layers that frame her face like she stepped out of a magazine. The stylist's eyes light up. "Going for a change, are we? Going for a revolution." Next comes the wardrobe. Gone are the conservative dresses and careful cardigans. Kate embraces bold colors, shorter hemlines, clothes that make her feel powerful instead of proper. "You look," Pippa pauses, studying her sister. "You look dangerous." "Good." The final touch is the attitude. Kate practices in her mirror, not the careful media-trained smile she'd perfected for royal functions, but something real, something that says she's not waiting for anyone's approval anymore. Bougie's nightclub, Chelsea. Thursday night, 11 p.m. Kate walks in wearing a turquoise dress that costs more than most people's rent and confidence that money can't buy. The music is loud, the lights are dim, and for the first time in months, she feels alive. She's not looking for William. She's not looking for anyone. She's just being Kate, the Kate who existed before palace protocols and royal expectations. The Kate who knows how to laugh without calculating how it will look in tomorrow's papers. But London's social scene is smaller than it appears, and within an hour, someone with a camera phone has captured her mid-laugh, head thrown back, surrounded by friends who look at her like she's the center of the universe. The photo goes viral before she's even home. William sees the photo at 2 a.m., scrolling through his phone in his apartment at Clarence's house. He's been doing this for weeks, looking for glimpses of Kate in the social media feeds of mutual friends, searching for signs that she's as miserable as he is. But this photo shows a Kate he's never seen before, radiant, free, untouchable. His stomach drops. He realizes, with the kind of clarity that only comes at 2 a.m. when you're alone and the world is quiet, that he's made the biggest mistake of his life. The next morning, his phone rings. It's his father. "Have you seen the papers?" Charles asks without preamble. "No, sir." "Perhaps you should. And perhaps you should think very carefully about what you've done." The headlines are brutal. Kate's revenge. Middleton moves on. The one that got away. But it's not the headlines that destroy him. It's the photo. Kate, luminous and laughing, looking like she's exactly where she belongs, without him. William spends the next week in a fog of regret. He realizes that in trying to find himself, he's lost the one person who made him feel most like himself. The pressure he thought he was escaping wasn't coming from Kate, it was coming from his own fear of not being enough. He thinks about calling her, but what would he say? "I made a mistake" seems inadequate. "I love you" seems presumptuous. "Please take me back" seems pathetic. Meanwhile, Kate continues her new life with the kind of grace that makes queens. She attends art galleries, goes to dinner parties, takes a job at a fashion company. She's building something real, something that belongs to her. The media watches her every move, but instead of the careful, calculated appearances of before, these feel authentic. She's not performing for anyone anymore. Not for William, not for the cameras, not for the British public. She's just being Kate. 1 month after the nightclub photo, William makes his decision. He shows up at Kate's flat at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, holding a bouquet of flowers that cost more than her rent. Kate opens the door, and for a moment, neither of them speaks. She's wearing jeans and a sweater, her hair pulled back in a messy bun, and she's never looked more beautiful. "Hi," he says, and his voice cracks like he's 16 again. "Hi," she replies, and her voice is steady, controlled, different. "I was wondering, could we talk?" Kate looks at him for a long moment, and William can see her weighing her options. She could slam the door, she could tell him it's too late, she could protect the new life she's built from the ashes of their old one. Instead, she steps aside. 5 minutes, she says. They sit across from each other at her kitchen table, the same table where she'd cried over their breakup 6 weeks ago. But everything has changed. "I made a mistake," William says, and the words sound exactly as inadequate as he'd feared. "Which mistake?" Kate asks. "Breaking up with me, or taking this long to realize it?" "Both." Kate nods slowly. "I needed that time too, William. I needed to remember who I was before I became who you needed me to be. And who are you?" Kate smiles, and it's the smile from the nightclub photo. Free, unguarded, real. "I'm someone who won't disappear again. If we do this, if we try again, it has to be different. I have to be different." William reaches across the table and takes her hand. "Can you forgive me?" "I already have," Kate says. "The question is, can you forgive yourself?" 6 months later, William proposes. Kate says yes, but not because she's been waiting for him to ask. She says yes because she knows now that she can be a queen without losing herself. The girl who disappeared after a 47-second phone call was never seen again. In her place stands a woman who learned that sometimes you have to break completely before you can build something unbreakable. And that perhaps is the most royal transformation of all.